spent my whole weekend paying attention to what's happening between Ukraine and Russia.
Indeed, and locally, of course I don't blame you because that has actually spread locally. But what is even more important and relevant today locally is the fact that there's a lot of talk about the cost of living, mainly driven by a spike in fuel prices. And this has had a trickle-down effect. But we'll be discussing that and more in our subsequent shows. It is Money and Markets. Welcome to the show.
When you speak to business owners out there, they tell you how hard it is to do business within the continent of Africa. Some of the reasons that have been pointed out have been policy and other logistical challenges pertaining to that.
Indeed, and of course it becomes harder if the business person is a lady, because you're flying against so many odds. Now, in this week's segment of Boardroom, we're speaking to a businesswoman all the way from West Africa, Ghana, who's venturing into the East African space.
My name is Grace Ame Obin. I'm the Group CEO of Forever Clear Ghana. The group comprises of Forever Clear cosmetic industry, where we manufacture skincare products, hair care products, and color cosmetics, that is makeup, lipsticks, and all that. And then FC Beauty College, where we train beauticians, spa therapists, and hairdressers, and help them set up their salons. And we also have a hotel, a 3-star hotel in one of the regions, Volta region, Early Beach Hotel. About some 5 years ago, I met a beautiful lady in Ghana at a conference, Madam Fiona Wall, and we got introduced by a mutual friend, and we clicked. So she invited me to Uganda to speak at one of her conclaves, and it went well. We saw the business opportunity because I brought some products with me, and it generated a lot of interest. And so going around the shops and the market, I realized that there was an opportunity to do business with Uganda. So we planned coming back, not only to sell products, but to establish a manufacturing outlet here, and also to see how we can cooperate with any of the existing vocational or technical schools, and work with them in skills training. So that's why we came. Unfortunately, first, COVID struck, so we couldn't pursue our desires. But fortunately, the team has even gotten bigger. The interest in Uganda has gotten keener, and so we got. I brought along an investment company, a construction company, the manufacturing cosmetic company, and we are here to see how best we are going to be allowed to establish ourselves here. I've traveled widely, across Africa, Europe, wherever, and even China, Australia. I've been everywhere almost, and I've realized that with the vast, rich resources we have in Africa, if we begin to identify the strength of each country, we would be able to add value to our own resources, and taking the population of Africa, the whole of Africa, the market is huge. So Uganda has a lot of raw ingredients and materials that we can use in Ghana, because we import a lot in West Africa. And we also have the expertise in adding value to raw things. And so that is already a business starting there. How do we exchange that strength or knowledge transfer to Uganda for their rich raw materials that they have? Naturally, the role of a woman is to nurture, start a family, nurture the home, nurture a nation. Why aren't we transitioning or transferring that passion or natural talent into business? We don't think big to start with. a woman will say, well, let me start doing this small, because our hands are full. You're trying to raise a family, you're trying to do so many things. And so you're afraid that when you do something big, you'll be consumed in the volume of what you are doing. But we must begin to learn that it's not always about you. And that when you start a business, you may be the originator of the idea, but when you are manifesting the idea, you need to add people to it. People that will support you, people that have the knowledge to help you grow. When you start a business, don't say, oh, it's just something small. You must pay yourself salary from that small business. It doesn't matter how small it is. And spend that salary on yourself and leave the business capital to run the business. And also, you should also try and engage or frequently attend conferences, seminars, join associations that will enrich, your deepen the knowledge and network, because the people you meet may be your first customers or your growth pattern customers. I've been in business for 40 years already. It may not happen today. It's a gradual process, but we are in charge of the acceleration. And you must learn also to apply the brakes when you need. So a gradual gradient will help you clearly, on the path that you want to go. With every business person, when you walk about and look about, you try to identify some needs that you can meet. And so that is a business opportunity. In this hotel, I realized that, maybe they can do with some scented candles. Then I would approach management and say, look, I manufacture scented candles. Would you take it off me? And then I can go into that negotiation with them. So let's not just be blinded. There's so much we can do with the resources we have in our environment, instead of relying on people to come and use or add value to those for us.
So we've had talk about the night economy and what that means to a country like Uganda.
Shamim, I will tell you it's quite important, because if you look at the impact this economy is on other sectors such as tourism, because such a sector sells experience, and that experience mainly happens at night for that matter. Now, we're trying to delve into what that economy portends. When Uganda introduced curfew to tame the spread of COVID-19, a major victim out of this measure was the night economy. Many look at the night economy as just one for merrymaking, an uncontrolled expenditure by the night revelers. Experts, however, know that this space supports some of the most critical sectors of the economy, including some of the country's biggest taxpayers.
There is consumption of goods and services during the night economy. At night also, people are looking for accommodation, for where to sleep, which means that the hotels that used to be empty, the accommodation levels then would go up at night. Also at night, there are people who would want to travel at night. So if the curfew time is declared at 7 p.m., it means nobody can travel.
This consumption has a trickle-down effect that goes down to different parties, directly and indirectly.
What this does to the economy is that the volume of trade and services go up. And consequently, Uganda Revenue Authority would be able, therefore, to tax more revenue, more taxes. If you look at the statistics, this financial year, URA is supposed to collect about 22 trillion. They are behind by about 1 trillion shillings. Now, and that was during a COVID period.
The impact was even harder to the bar operators, who are indeed the fulcrum of the night business operation.
We lost cash flow, we lost a lot. People lost jobs. Actually, others' properties were taken up because you find others had loans to run specific businesses. But then the time we took when it is closed, actually, in one way or the other, some areas were not helped. Because, for example, I can tell you that we were closed, but landlords did not close the rents. the rents kept on accumulating. The loans, because I know people had loans, and even in constructions, even any other sector, they did extensions of loans, but that never meant that the loan is not being paid.
So as the night economy opens, players and pundits are rooting for a special consideration to support this segment of the economy, given the roles it plays in supporting critical elements of the wider economy.
We are not in isolation. We are part of the bigger society, and we are part of the bigger economy. You know, we like to say that we bring happiness. We make and bring happiness by way of beer. So certainly whatever affected the rest of the society affected us. People like to get together. So the moment you didn't have that opportunity to freely get together, it means the normal patterns of consuming, of drinking beer were interrupted. So that was the biggest effect, and it means there was a negative effect in terms of how much we could sell. And I think that impacted, then it had a ripple effect on the rest of the economy. Remember, we service the rest of the economy. So much that if I can just tell you that Nile Breweries contributes to 2.5% of the entire taxes collected by the Revenue Authority.
Beyond the taxman, just this one player in this space is impacting tens of thousands of households in Uganda.
We contribute 600 billion to the GDP of Uganda. We employ directly and indirectly up to 40,000 people. We contribute maybe 300 billion in procurement, a special procurement from farmers. We buy agricultural products for brewing worth 50 billion shillings plus. Just in terms of sorghum, in terms of barley, in terms of maize, in terms of cassava. So all these were affected.
To understand the importance of the night economy, one has to look at the industries it supports and how much this feeds into the wider economy. Indeed, to players, the resumption of this economy will be critical to the resuscitation of the critical sectors such as tourism, Uganda's leading forex earner, which leverage night economy activities to sell the experience, which is a major commodity traded by this sector.